Welcome to June's Metastatic Breast Cancer podcast, where our theme for this month is following in our journey as we go through my book, Meditation with Intention. And our intention for this month will focus on intention 5, which is I live my life for me. And this is something that, especially as women, it can become incredibly stressful when we're inundated with either societal expectations of how our lives should be going or cultural expectations. And the true peace and rest comes from when we realize that we have to live up to our own expectations of how our lives should be going. How many of us are constantly receiving unsolicited feedback about our life choices from family, friends, and colleagues? Add in social media, television, magazines, and advertising to the mix, and it begins to dawn on me, and I'm sure many others, how much unsolicited feedback we receive every day. This feedback ranges from lifestyle choices to what we eat, where we live, who we date, where we travel, what we wear, and even our choice of hairstyle. If we allow ourselves, we become bombarded by this outside and external noise, constantly, so much so that it begins to drown out our own inner wisdom. Throw in modern society, fast-paced lifestyles, and the onslaught of technology, and it just gives you a headache trying to keep up with it all. There is a beautiful parable about a frog aiming to reach the top of a tree. All the other frogs told the frog it was impossible and that she would never reach the top. The frog thought that all of the negative comments were in fact positive encouragement, urging her to fulfill her dream. She reached the top by turning a deaf ear to all of the negativity surrounding her. We can all resonate with the story of this frog, and I encourage you to take the lesson into your own lives. Your perception ultimately becomes your reality. In the above story, the frog refused to engage in any of the negative chatter around her. Instead, she turned it into something positive and focused solely on her goal of reaching the top of the tree. The frog achieved her goal with perseverance, dedication, and unwavering commitment. This is the exact recipe we all need if we are going to find our true purpose within. As we progress on our paths, there will always be people telling us we can't, that it will never happen, and similar. The amount of times I have heard that throughout my life, I have lost count. We may have overbearing family and friends who feel they are looking out for us by trying to steer our lives in a certain direction, according to their belief systems, and they often have the best of intentions. And this is true of any cancer diagnoses. Sometimes there's too much noise, there's too much feedback from external sources that we become confused and we try to incorporate and to listen to all of the feedback, just simply exhausting ourselves. Meditation and mindfulness practices aid us in drowning out the outside noise. Other people's opinions are just that, opinions. If we allow ourselves to be swayed by everybody who has an opinion about our lives and what we should be doing, we will never get anywhere. Nor will we be able to make any decisions that have a lasting impact, as we will have no conviction behind them. So here we have to take on board feedback that is helpful and positive and really focus on leaving behind feedback that isn't. Through meditation and mindfulness practices and what we call in yoga philosophy dharana, which is one of the limbs on the 8-limb path of yoga in yoga philosophy, which is the 6th limb related to concentration, without which we cannot successfully meditate. So without mastering concentration, we really can't get to the stage of meditation or deep meditation. Concentration or dharana is the ticket to a successful meditation practice and holds the key to being able to control the mind and negative thought patterns. If you put in the time and effort with no external noise deterring you from your goal, the path of dharana or concentration will lead you to where you have set your intention on going. We are not using the full capacity of our brains on our minds. Imagine what we could achieve if we were able to harness more of our contemplative power within to create both material and, more importantly, spiritual success and inner peace in our lives. So I really want you, as always, to think about how you can truly commit to a meditation practice and commit to making meditation a daily part of your existence. Like anything, nothing works if we don't do it daily. And our exercise for this month will actually focus on a mindfulness practice in nature that I will share at the end. So I really want you all to think about the intention of living your life for you, drowning out the external noise. And the first step towards happiness can simply be to take a breath, slow down, and really focus on what is going on internally. My favorite saying to my patients and clients is the wallpaper of our minds becomes the landscape of our lives. So start to notice your own internal dialogue, as it has a major effect on your external situation. It may have more of an impact than you realize, in turn directly affecting your happiness and sense of self-worth. We all have to find our own way through this journey in life and do what feels right for us personally. Meditation has allowed me to release any fear-based thinking and to really tune in more to my inner voice and what works for me. If you are not able to find balance within, it is easy to become swayed by people around you. If our external, or more importantly, internal narrative is negative, it can end up turning us toward the darkness within and away from the light. Most of us have received programming from the day we were born about what we should like, what we should believe in, and what we should dislike. This conditioning stems from our parents' and caregivers' belief systems, but may not, as we grow older, surprise, surprise, coincide with our own belief systems. The discrepancy between the two creates resistance and guilt as we strive to find our own meaning of life as opposed to somebody else's. As we grow into adulthood, the most important voice becomes our own. And of all the people on this planet, you talk to yourself more than anyone else does. It is that internal narrative that becomes key, so you have to make sure that you are saying the right things to yourself. Through the practices of meditation and mindfulness, you can reprogram any negative conditioning that doesn't resonate with you anymore or is no longer serving your highest good. We can become so focused on what other people are telling us that we forget to be aware of what we are telling ourselves. Be very mindful of your internal dialogue, as these are some of the most important conversations you will ever have. The conversations you have with yourself are pivotal to the practices of self-awareness, self-care, and self-love. Yes, a lot of self going on here. The path of meditation and yoga helps us to start tuning in as the impartial observer of our minds, without judgment or criticism, but simply tuning in to what is going on inside. As I said before and will keep saying throughout this book, the wallpaper of your mind becomes the landscape of your life. Choose your thoughts wisely and be aware of the internal canvas you are creating. This is what you can control, irrespective of your external situation and circumstance. There is a lot in life beyond our control. And yet we spend so much time and energy trying to control people and situations leading us nowhere. What you can control is yourself and your thought processes. So a good place to begin this work is focusing on your own mind. Trust me, this will keep you busy enough. So much so that you won't have time to worry about what anybody else is doing. Now, when I find myself worrying about what other people are doing or saying, I bring myself back to being concerned about my own words and actions, which is more than enough to keep me occupied and all that I am in control of anyway. The other part that you have to be aware of is to not give up. We often self-sabotage or tire and give up just before a major breakthrough can occur. We don't get to see the magic that could have unfolded if we had more patience to wait it out a little longer. You have to put in the dedicated time and effort doing that internal and external work, and also be patient enough to not lose hope or give up in the process. A mindfulness and meditation practice really helps you to find the commitment to do the work. Have faith that the right results for you will come. It might not look exactly as you expected it to, but it will be exactly what is meant for you. What is meant for you will not disappear if you give it your all and remain unattached to outcomes. If you put in the time and dedication without the external noise that deters you from your goal, and with the use of dharana, that single-pointed concentration and unwavering focus, your path will surely lead you where you are meant to go. Being unattached to specific outcomes is also imperative. Do the work, put in the time and effort required to reach your goals, and then let go of your attachment to how you think things should go. Instead, opening yourself up to being led by a higher power that knows what is best for you and is guiding you forward on your path. So this month, I want to share the power of nature. And a great way to connect to that place of peace within is by spending time in nature. And research is now verifying the correlation and efficacy of spending time in nature without even having to do anything physically, just sitting in nature, and the impact that has on our health and well-being. To listen to the sounds of nature, to be fully present, noticing the trees and the leaves stirring in the breeze, hearing the sounds of the birds chirping, and noticing the color of the sky and the formation of the clouds. It is amazing what we miss out on because we are not present in our lives or aware of our surroundings, or even taking the time to look up at the sky. So much of our time these days is spent looking down at our phones that we are having neck and back issues resulting in poor posture. Plus, we miss seeing so many beautiful things. I personally make it a point every day to look up at the sky and notice the birds flying, the blue skies, and the cloud formations. At night, I gaze at the stars and the moon, which is my favorite as I am slightly obsessed with the moon and have been since I was a small child. Spending time in nature is proven to have a multitude of healing benefits, and that's what I really want you to focus on this month. So our practice for this month to allow nature to heal, allowing the brain to reduce negative thought patterns, helping our ability to focus and increase our happiness, lowering our blood pressure, and improving both our mental and physical health is a 5-minute nature practice. So I want you all to find a spot in nature, even in your backyard or a nearby park or green space. And you can begin by closing your eyes or not closing your eyes and taking a few deep calming inhales and slow relaxing exhales. And then I want you to focus on emptying your mind of your thoughts, worries, and any anxieties that you have in that moment. Allow yourself to bring your mind and body into a state of complete relaxation as you surrender yourself to nature and repeat the intention for this chapter 10 times. I live my life for me. I live my life for me. I live my life for me. Release the intention once you've completed it 10 times and start to visualize what you would really like your life to be. Perhaps focus on one thing that you have really been yearning for and start to imagine what that would be like, whether it is a relationship, good health, a new career, or a big move. Whatever it may be, really start to breathe life into this picture on your blank canvas and imagine yourself at your destination having achieved what you wished for. If your mind starts drifting to the negative in your visualization, use your breath to keep you anchored in the present. Tune in to nature around you, opening yourself up to the notion that anything is possible. If you maintain a positive outlook and keep dreaming it, you can do it. So I hope you enjoy that intention for this month and that you will join us for our community gathering in June. And I look forward to being with you all then.